Yes.
on the mountain.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the toughest issues that you'll engage with that constituency? I mean,
Well, I'm from a dairy farming community from Windsor County.
Okay.
And we are not doing enough dairy farming here right now. There's great dairy farmers, but because of our trade policy and also because we subsidize big ag instead of the mid-scale farmers, it's ripped the rug out of under a lot of our farmers, which is a huge problem. We should have a lot more dairy, local beef, and like this is not a complicated idea unless you're a lobbyist. Kids in our schools should be drinking local milk.
Yep.
My nursing home should have local food. My mother did that one, 97.
Yes.
She wanted local food and that it would taste good.
Yes.
In Margaretville.
Right. Local food in our institutions. It is so basic. It is good for our local economy. It's good for our health. It's absolutely essential. And smaller mid-sized farms. One dairy farmer told me this, and I checked it with a group. She said, you know, my husband, who was a dairy farmer for 40 years, would always say, every dime we spend turns over 7 times. That mid-sized farms and small independent farms, this is true for businesses as well, the money stays in the community. It doesn't get ripped out. So there's 1,000 different reasons. But to get there, again, like these are tough fights. To get there, we have to have a more Democrats on the Ag Committee from rural areas. And so I will be proud to be standing up for small and mid-scale farms who too often get shoved aside in the Farm Bill at the expense of big ag. It makes no sense to bring in milk from California when there's a drought there.
Or apples.
Right?
From
Or apples.
Washington.
Actually, and the apples thing, you know, we have best apples. And have you been to McDonald's where you get the little apple slices in the plastic bag? You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of those are from here. But they're not sliced here.
Right.
They're sliced in Texas. we can do apple slicing in Kingston. So there's a lot that doesn't make sense unless you're a lobbyist, right? Because it's about, you know, your local farmer doesn't hire a lobbyist. It's Dean Foods that hires a lobbyist. So that voice is important, but we also have to be honest about trade. That our NAFTA has been really responsible for ripping out a lot of our jobs. We can have local manufacturing, local jobs. And I actually think we're at a moment here where Republicans and Democrats, not necessarily, you know, everybody in office, but Republicans and Democrats on the ground get it about NAFTA. So, like, there's this bill, you know, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which I'm openly against and have been advocating against, but we shouldn't stop there. We should also renegotiate our trade arrangements, including NAFTA. And I'll be a strong voice for that.
Will there be a place where this kind of information will be made available so that when I speak, it will be with knowledge and clarity?
Yes. So you're basically saying, when are you going to get more policy on your website?
Talking points at least.
Key points that you're...
Yeah, so we're releasing a white paper on small businesses tomorrow, which will include some of this, and we can put that on our website. You know, basic policy for this should be on our website. We share videos. We might share a video of tonight's event. Also, you should feel free to ask when you talk to, you're in touch with our field staff. If there's a question that you have that keeps coming up over and over again. What is true? What's funny about running for Congress is that you're sort of responsible for the pothole in the moon. You know? So there are going to be lots of different questions that you may not have easy access to. And I think that, you know, we'll have the sort of broad policy issue areas, but a lot of what people want to know, and, you know, I have people supporting me who might disagree with me on stuff, is, are you going to keep your door open? Are you going to listen? And fundamentally, you're going to respect everybody and fight for all of them. And I have a history of that. So.
Say something about immigration reform.
Yeah.
And what we can tell our Latino neighbors.
Yeah. I mean, we clearly need,
Yes, whatever.
Yeah. Congress has just year after year after year just kicked the can down the road on comprehensive immigration reform, and we clearly need it. And I think most people really want a fair system. That's what they start with, is making sure that the system is fair. There's a lot of inflammatory rhetoric, but fundamentally that's the core of it. I think that's possible again on the ground. I think that's a lot harder in Washington. So in Washington, I'll be pushing for comprehensive immigration reform. And I gotta say though, that I do think it is un-American to be talking about any immigration policy that has a religious litmus test, which is what Donald Trump is suggesting. Religious litmus test. The idea. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Yes. I will be around while phone banking. I won't vanish. And I look forward to seeing you. So it's Women with Zephyr Wednesdays, WWZW. Very good. Catchy. We're sort of end of the alphabet heavy. Leave no letters behind. So I look forward to seeing you on WWZWs. Phone banking is really, really, really important. And I love the projects that you guys have pulled together. I went to one of these wonderful Women with Zephyr events, and we talked about, so many different things that we haven't had the time to talk about now, like elder care, which is extremely important. Right now we are not supporting people who are extremely isolated, which puts the burden on children, often daughters, to be not just the caretaker, but the advocate. And to whether they have to quit their jobs or take a major cut in their own work and their other obligations in their social community, to just figure out what resources are available and what benefits are available for their parents. And one of the jobs that I know I can play the first day that I go to Congress, even with an intransigent, broken Congress, is being a resource of information. Doing mobile units for sharing information about what already exists and how people can have access, so that because it's a story that I hear over and over again of people both taking time to caretake and to navigate the federal government. To understand. I'll be around. I want to make sure I have a chance to make